Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Alexe Godin, Bachelor in Paradise's Season 10 finale is gut-wrenching. Alexe Godin has teased that the Bachelor in Paradise finale was emotionally taxing and upsetting for the cast members. Bachelor in Paradise is set to air its Season 10 finale next week on ABC, and Alexe has teased that fans should brace themselves for a gripping ending. The latest episode featured Bachelor in Paradise host Jesse Palmer revealing of what's to come. For your final test, $500,000, money or love? If you choose love, you're choosing to forego the money. Alexe shared on the Tuesday, August 26 episode of the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, "Definitely the last episode is going to be surprising." Alexe told the podcast's co-hosts Joe Amabel and Serena Pitt, "I don't think I've ever been in a position where I experienced something like that." The Bachelor alum added, "It was, I'm just going to say it, gut-wrenching." The remaining couples in Paradise include Alexe and Andrew Spencer, who fell in love, Catherine Kat Izzo and Dale Moss, who made an official commitment to each other, and Spencer Conley and Jess Edwards, who began making major plans in the real world during filming. The other couples are Jeremy Simon and Bailey Taylor Brown, who made it through ups and downs together, and Kathy Swartz and Keith Gordon, who made it to the finale without being romantically involved. Brian Otts previously teased on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast that the money situation, meaning the potential $500,000 cash prize, was very interesting. "People begin to act very differently when money comes into the situation," Brian revealed, adding how some cast members were very different once a financial incentive was on the table. A preview of next week's Bachelor in Paradise finale shows Jeremy sharing of Bailey, "I have an incredible woman by my side who stood by me." Andrew says of Alexe, "She's just a calm and soothing voice in my head." Spencer also gushes about having found his person, Jess, in Paradise. Kat gushes, "The fear and wounds that have been embedded inside me can actually start to get shaken off." And Keith, holding hands with Kathy, calls Paradise an incredible place that showed him love is always out there. But then suddenly, the Parliament of Paradise, including Jonathan Johnson, Lee K&N, Faith Martin, Kim Boyk, C. McLaughlin, and Alicia Gupta, returned to the resort. "If you're going to take shots at me, don't miss," Scene boasts in a confessional. Scene proceeds to announce to the whole cast, Kat's plan was never to find love. "You said that this was going to be something for your career, and you're here to stir up drama." Kat is shown crying, which prompts Dale Moss to yell at Scene, "I would never do that on my worst day to another human being." Dale then notes how friends will have to vote out other friends at the 9th and final rose ceremony. Alexe Godin sat down to reflect on the whirlwind that was Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. She could only describe the finale with one phrase, gut-wrenching. For fans who have followed her journey, it's not hard to see why. Season 10 wasn't just another beachside love story filled with cocktails, roses, and sun-soaked romance. It was a season defined by heartbreak, shocking revelations, and raw emotions that left the cast and audience in tears. Alexe, who entered Paradise with an open heart and a willingness to be vulnerable, quickly became a fan favorite. With her candid charm, quirky sense of humor, and ability to comfort others, she stood out from the drama. But her path to love was anything but straightforward. In her own words, the finale felt like the closing chapter of an emotional roller coaster that no one was quite prepared for. The season of emotional highs and crushing lows. Unlike other seasons, where the focus stayed on blossoming romances and whirlwind engagements, Season 10 often felt more like a test of endurance. The contestants weren't just navigating tropical storms or rose ceremonies. They were navigating deep insecurities, hidden pasts, and fragile connections that were tested under the weight of Paradise. Alexe was at the center of much of this emotional energy. From the very beginning, she built a strong bond with Andrew Spencer, one of the franchise's most charismatic men. Their connection seemed steady, rooted in mutual respect and a playful sense of comfort. But as Paradise does best, the arrival of new contestants tested their relationship. Temptations pulled Andrew in different directions, and Alexe found herself fighting an internal battle: stay and fight for the relationship or guard her heart before it shattered. The gut-wrenching finale moment. When Alexe finally used the phrase gut-wrenching, she wasn't exaggerating. The finale delivered one of the most heartbreaking moments in franchise history. After weeks of hope, doubt, and reconciliation, Alexe stood opposite Andrew in the final ceremony. The setting was beautiful, waves crashing in the background, the warm Mexican sunset painting the sky in golden light. But the mood was anything but serene. In front of millions of viewers, Andrew admitted he wasn't ready for the kind of commitment Alexe deserved. He confessed his feelings but admitted he was still too torn from past relationships to truly give himself over. For Alexe, it was like having the floor pulled out from under her. She listened, her face strong, but her eyes betraying the heartbreak inside. It wasn't just a breakup on TV, she later explained. It was a moment where I realized I had given so much of myself, only to discover that sometimes love just isn't enough. That realization, it's gut-wrenching. Fans' reaction? As soon as the finale aired, social media exploded with messages of support for Alexe. Hashtags like #TeamAlexe and #SheDeservesBetter began trending on X, formerly Twitter. Fans praised her grace under pressure, noting how she didn't lash out or crumble. Instead, she spoke with dignity, thanking Andrew for the time they shared while acknowledging her own worth. One fan wrote, "Alexe is the definition of strength. She showed millions of women that it's okay to walk away from something that doesn't serve you, even if your heart is breaking." Another chimed in, "This finale hurt to watch, but Alexe showed us what real self-respect looks like." Behind the scenes of the finale. According to production insiders, the finale was even more intense than what viewers saw. Multiple takes weren't possible. The emotions were too raw, too real. Producers allowed Alexe and Andrew the space to speak without interruption. What aired was a genuine, unfiltered exchange between two people trying to navigate love under impossible circumstances. Alexe revealed later that she had considered leaving the show early. "I felt the cracks long before the finale," she admitted. "But part of me wanted to believe in the magic of Paradise. I thought maybe, just maybe, things would align. But when they didn't, I had to face reality." Since filming wrapped, Alexe has been candid about her healing journey. She's used her platform to talk about the importance of self-love, therapy, and leaning on friends after heartbreak. On Instagram, she's shared reflective captions paired with serene photos of her travels, signaling that she's finding her own peace outside the spotlight. "Paradise broke me, but it also built me," she wrote in one post. "I discovered strength I didn't know I had. And while the ending was gut-wrenching, it was also the beginning of something new for me, choosing myself." Her words resonated deeply with fans, especially young women who saw parts of their own struggles mirrored in her story. The legacy of Season 10. Bachelor in Paradise has always thrived on chaos, but Season 10 will go down as one of the most emotional in franchise history. While there were still engagements, dramatic exits, and the usual tropical drama, it was Alexe's final moment that stood out. Her story wasn't about finding happily ever after with someone else. It was about discovering the power of walking away. For a franchise often criticized for being overly manufactured, Alexe's story reminded fans why they keep coming back. It was authentic, human, and undeniably relatable. Heartbreak is universal, and Alexe carried hers with remarkable grace. What's next for Alexe Godin? The question fans can't stop asking is, what's next for Alexe? Some are already campaigning for her to become the next Bachelorette, while others hope she takes time away from reality TV to focus on her personal growth. Alexe herself has remained coy. In interviews, she's hinted at keeping her options open, but emphasizes that right now, her focus is on herself. "I've learned that love doesn't have to come from a TV show," she said. "If the right person comes along, amazing. But if not, I'm okay building a life that makes me happy on my own." A finale to remember. In the end, Alexe's description of the finale as gut-wrenching captured not just her own experience, but the collective reaction of fans who felt every tear and every heartbreak alongside her. Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 wasn't about the tropical sunsets, the cocktails, or even the roses. It was about the messy, painful, and beautiful truth of love. Alexe Godin may not have left with a fiancé, but she left with something far more powerful: her dignity, her strength, and a story that inspired millions. For a show that thrives on dramatic endings, this one felt more real than ever before. And maybe, just maybe, that's why fans will remember Alexe's finale moment long after the credits rolled.